One of those areas that are a big catalyst for us meeting the best version of our true self is relationships. Relationships are one of those things where we can really fall into being victimized until we understand that, yes, this is the hall of mirrors, and yes, there's only one spirit. One of the things that really threw me off for a minute was opposites attract. That is so not true. And in fact, when you say opposites attract, it is pushing the victim card. And I'm only going to speak because when you get into these areas of abuse and relationships, it can get pretty touchy. So I'm going to speak from personal experience only on this. When I used and I believed in opposites attract, it was easier for me to then look at that person and point out those areas where they did wrong. They lack here. They need to be more X, Y, Z. And what it was doing for myself was me being a victim, unbeknownst at the time. I did begin noticing a pattern. I was always constantly, for years, in narcissistic relationships, emotional and physical abusive. Now, it's funny because the emotional side can be very tricky because it's not like you can look down at your arm or something and say, I've been hurt, or you look at this wound here. It is more mental, and a lot of times with the mental, it took a lot longer to overcome that hold on yourself. So going into the aspect of being victimized, when I could look at those relationships and finally say, hey, hold on, if this is consistently happening to me, and I'm consistently pulling, it seems like the same experience over and over and over again, could it be me? Because before I was always pointing the finger at someone else, but now I'm like, hold on, could it be me? Once I was open to shining that light on this version of myself instead of the external versions of myself that, oh, by the way, were only being drawn to me to wake this version up. Didn't realize that at the time, but that's a lot of times why we can pull with the same pattern of a relationship to ourselves. It's just an effort to awaken something in this current one in which we're residing when we're ready. When we're ready, everyone has their own time. It was very heartbreaking to realize how much I didn't love myself, reflective in those relationships. So how it started was being able to put that hat on myself and say, I'm a narcissist. Felt odd to say, but I would say I'm a narcissist. Why? Because a narcissist is really like someone who feeds off, a parasite, feeding off something from someone else. When I was willing to say I was a narcissist, I realized that I was feeding off of the little bit of love I was getting in exchange for 98% abuse, 2% love. And because I lacked that willingness to set boundaries, to not accept certain type of behaviors, it was really just reflecting the amount of love I wasn't giving myself. So that was a huge aha moment for me. And it was a big catapult into taking this walk of learning to, one, recognize myself. I was going to say love myself, but we are love. There's no more love you can give yourself other than realizing that you are the embodiment of it. You are love. Right? And these relationships aren't blossoming you into anything more. You can't be anything more than you already are in this moment. You're everything. So everything else around you, all of this hall of mirrors, all of these avatars and different characters that you're playing are just here to shine the light on you, on me, to awaken us to the everything that we already are. That is the essence of the topic for today, is to take a different spotlight on relationships now. When we go into relationships, to ask ourselves when we are stepping into it or we're already in a relationship, understanding that it's still us And if there's anything about that individual that's causing us a little bit of misalignment or this and that, to go within, right? They're all helping and pushing and nurturing us to go within. And as well as when we continue on this beautiful path of self-realization, even with myself as I share things, to remember that you're the one that has the Bible encrypted on your heart. You have the keys to your own unique journey. These versions of you are lining up to encourage and support. We're simply guides that you created for this moment of time to just speak to your heart and help you, support you in the remembering. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll have more conversations around this and throw some thoughts out, some desires that you might have for a topic of conversation. Until then, stay blessed, and I'll catch you on the next video. Much love.